Well, hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here with this awesome group of other companies. I'm John Northrup, and I've spent my life first in big pharma and then as a biotech serial entrepreneur. This is my fourth biotech. Vasculonics is a platform technology for restoration of vascular and organ function. It's truly innovative and leading the field to protect organs under stress. Our company is about 5 years old and founded on the novel patents and discovery of J. Paul Singh. One patent has already issued and the other patents are in process. We're targeting a novel pathway that has not been successfully targeted before. It's a bit of a tongue twister, ADMA or asymmetric dimethyl arginine. It's part of the inflammation and oxidative stress responses of your body. And we target it either by increasing its negative regulator, DDAH, which we can supplement or stimulate to create more. And the bottom line is this pathway is more pervasive and basic in protecting organs and has the promise of superior efficacy in treating a number of diseases to anything that's on the market today. Vasculonics was founded to develop this platform of therapies, acute and chronic, and we have everything from a device to an oral tablet therapy. Now, this is how excessive ADMA damages organs. You have stressors on your body. This can be many things. It can be chronic disease like diabetes or congestive heart failure. It can be temporary stressors, ischemia, injury, or infection. And what happens is that when your body is stressed in this way, DDAH levels fall pretty significantly and allow ADMA to build up. ADMA becomes a vascular toxin at just 50% above normal levels in the body. And what it does is then it causes vascular dysfunction. It reduces blood flow to your organs. It reduces the cellular energy that your organs use to repair themselves, so they cannot do this very effectively. It causes inflammation and ultimately fibrosis or a damaged organ. And this happens to the kidney, it happens to the heart, it happens to the lung, and it happens to other organs like the brain. Now, our technology is very exciting. And just a quick point here. It's been now 10 years with correlative patient studies, animal models, and even an analog of ADMA that went into a clinical trial and caused patient deaths. This has all shown that this is a key pathway, but nobody but Vasculonics has been able to drug it. Well, how did we manage that? Well, it's because we did something very differently. We're using a non-human DDAH for our device, and we found a key receptor which increases DDAH levels for our oral, which is a unique approach that no one else has tried. And it just turns out that human DDAH is a very poor therapeutic. It's not very potent, it's not very stable in the bioreactor, and it's got a very short half-life. Now, what we want to do with our first indication is to dramatically show that lowering ADMA makes a real difference for patients. And this disease of hepatorenal syndrome that we picked is about as dramatic as it gets. Hepatorenal syndrome happens when you're in the hospital waiting for a liver transplant because your liver has gone south, and then your kidney starts going bad as well. This usually takes you off the transplant list and will likely cause your death in a matter of weeks. We believe we can protect the kidney, bring its function back, get the patient back on the liver transplant list, and have the result being a transplant and life instead of death from this syndrome. And liver transplant units are profit makers for hospitals, so reimbursement is doable here. Reimbursement is high. Now, this is a graph that just shows, if you look first at the A frame, on the left, it just shows that in a healthy liver patient, ADMA levels are normal and they're low. In a pre-transplant patient who has a diseased liver, ADMA levels go way up. And this is because the liver is the primary site of ADMA metabolism. And then after the transplant, they return down to a much safer level. And then if you actually divide in section B on the right, ADMA groups, and look at the correlative studies, you have about a 50% survival with cirrhosis liver injury with high ADMA and a 90% survival with low ADMA. Now let's just take it a step further and go all the way to sepsis. Sepsis is multi-organ failure, and you can see ADMA levels go up in the first 72 hours, which is the time you're in septic shock. But 30-day mortality is very high in sepsis. And for a long time, we haven't really fully understood why. But here it shows that if you're in the low ADMA group, your survival is 90%. But in the high ADMA group, only 20%, showing how really important ADMA levels are. Now, here's our device, what it looks like. It's just a simple cartridge. It goes on the side pump of these devices that all these patients are connected to. They're basically apheresis or dialysis type machines. And we can bring down ADMA levels very nicely with this device. Here's some data in a large animal, the pig model, that shows that we bring ADMA levels down in 60 minutes and that we bring them down selectively, showing only in panel 2 does ADMA levels decline, not arginine or SDMA levels, which are closely related to ADMA. And this shows the various therapies that are available for liver support in the transplant unit. And the answer is there's nothing great. They can help you feel a little better, but none of them are disease modifying. None of them really improve survival. We do, we believe. We are currently raising to take our program through IND or the equivalent IND for a device, which is investigational device exemption. And that costs $2 million, which is really dramatically less than anything else that we can do. And then we'll be in a position to do a clinical trial in the syndrome. Now, I hope that I've shown you that ADMA is a vascular toxin that's very high in pathogenic and liver disease, especially hepatorenal syndrome, that we reduce ADMA nicely, that we have a cost-effective way to get into the clinic, and we have transplant units that are profitable and reimbursement is doable. And we have traction and interest from metabolic drug companies, from Department of Defense, transplant units, and dialysis providers. Now, I'd like to just spend a minute quickly on our oral and just say the first place we'd like to go is pulmonary arterial hypertension. And again, this is an area where there are currently no disease-modifying agents. Merck bought Acceleron to get sotatercept, which is the first disease-modifying agent in phase 3, and we're the other disease-modifying agent in this space. We have very different mechanisms of action, and we're complementary with the Merck product. This just shows you the magnitude of effect that we have on showing a highly significant reduction in systolic pulmonary pressure and very comparable, even better than the Merck data to the right. This is our team. We have a team of great experts, and this is my concluding slide. Thank you very much. I hope you'll consider being part of our Seed Series $2 million raise at a $5 million pre-money, and join us as we have a leading program in the space and no direct competition at this time. Thank you.